when you grow up in America, live in America, you're going to see this flag. It's part of our culture. You may not like it. You might think it's right or wrong. Doesn't matter. It's part of our culture. You know, you see it everywhere. It's flying everywhere, even on non-government buildings. You know, even in state government buildings, even in Kroger, or this. You know, I got it right here. Obviously, I got it's on my truck. You know, my church has the Vatican and the U.S. flag. You know, Vatican over here, American flag over there. The Gainesville Civic Center I usually go to for political meetings has the Georgia flag and the U.S. flag. You know, and it used to actually mean something. When I was a kid, even after 9/11 and the Patriot Act, I saw America as a symbol of hope, of freedom, justice, and equality, especially after 2015. You know, black president and gay marriage. And we're going to be talking about that too. I just saw America as good. Not the best country ever, but just one of the good countries. Out of the many bad, and I do believe the good outweigh the bad, but out of the many bad countries, we stand as the symbol of freedom. America has now lost that title. Because now, when I see the American flag, I don't see freedom. I see this. I see us regressing into a Protestant right-wing theocracy. I don't even want a left-wing theocracy. I wouldn't even want a Catholic left-wing theocracy, and I am a left-wing Catholic for about 5 years now. This should not be happening here. We always tell ourselves, oh, it's not going to happen here. We're in America. Then 9/11 happens. Then the school shootings happen. Then the 2021 riots happened. Then we literally had a coup. Our first proven coup. Some people say JFK's death was a coup d'etat by Johnson, but yeah, I don't see any evidence of that. Yeah, little side tangent. I can't stand conspiracy theories. I especially hate JFK conspiracy theories. And my D&D dungeon master, I talked to him about it. I was trying to prove to him that it wasn't a conspiracy. He's like, read Case Closed by Gerald Posner. It's over my bookshelf. But anyway, the guy I was talking to, he's like, okay, then who killed J.D. Tippit? Who the fuck is J.D. Tippit? He said. So you're going to claim JFK was killed by conspiracy, but you don't know everything? Like, you can't talk about J.D. Tippit without it being connected to the Kennedy assassination. Tangent aside. SCOTUS has repeatedly, one after another, enacted laws, made decrees, basically. I'm a little high, so please forgive my... and it's getting worse and worse. They passed down some rulings, I call them Supreme Court decrees. They basically overturned Roe v. Wade. They didn't just start there, but we'll start with that. This is an outrage. I'm late to the game, I get it. I'm not really mentally fit to just do videos like these so many times. Like, without it being an actual job like I get paid for, I wouldn't be able to do what Kyle Klinsky does, which is do shit every day. I got a job. This doesn't pay me. I don't have the ability. I don't have enough subscribers for that, and I probably never will. But I feel like I have to say something. This is a step backwards. It leaves it up to the states, so yes, it's not a nationwide abortion ban like Mike Pence is calling for. Fuck you, Mike. But we all know it's going to be banned in the red states. Some states already have trigger laws, meaning the second, like, they make the law, but it's not legal until the second Roe v. Wade is overturned. So it triggered into law the second it was done. Thankfully, we don't have that here in Georgia, but they're going to be working on it. I know it. I haven't checked, but I just know it. My grandmother, she's happy about it. Mom's happy about it. You know, of course, my mom, who had a hysterectomy, so it wouldn't affect her. And, you know, grandma's 80 and she lived in that time. My mother was 10 when she got control over her body, as in, like, you know, when Roe v. Wade happened. My grandmother was born in 1941. So she became an adult without the right to control her own body. Now, thankfully, my mother and my grandmother have never been in situations where they would need an abortion. You know, my grandmother, she wanted, you know, my mom, my Aunt Janet, and my Uncle Randy. You know, she was happily married. You know, she had she had the American dream. You know, house, husband, kids. You know, they had to move a lot because of Grandpa's job. You know, well, kids, my management's sending me to Texas. Sending us to Texas, so we gotta move there. And Mom had 3 pregnancies. The first one just was a miscarriage. She got what she wanted. She wanted exactly what she wanted. She wanted to be a mom. She also got 1 boy and 1 girl. Both are fucked up, but she got what she wanted. She just didn't say competent boy and girl. But yeah, Mom didn't have an abortion. She just had a miscarriage the first time. Sister, I don't think she's ever considered it, but she could have had abortions if she wanted to. Not saying she should have, not saying that. So, sis, if you're watching this, I'm not saying you should have. I'm just saying you had that option. Now they don't. How can you claim to be for small government when you want to tell women what they can do with their bodies? That's not small government. That's the government saying, no, you can't do this. And here's the thing. Roe v. Wade was basically a moderate, it wasn't a law, but abortion ruling, I guess. It's not a law. Basically what Roe v. Wade stated was, when you're in the first trimester, a woman can get an abortion, no questions asked. And that's back, like, you know, it's like just like little, like, cells, a clump of cells, zygotes, embryos. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. And I've watched every episode of Dr. House, but I retained a little of the medical shit that they dropped. You know. But anyway, second trimester is when, you know, the body parts start to form, and states can put health regulations and shit. And obviously, and I think anyone can support this, even pro-choice people. At the third trimester, the states can ban them. They're not banned by Roe v. Wade, but the third part says that the third trimester, it says the states can ban them if they want to. And I think that's reasonable with the exceptions, but not late term, like late. Oh, jeez, I need to hurry this up. I'm about to be slapped by this THC. Please bear with me. Yeah, and that was reasonable. You know, I always supported Roe v. Wade, even back when I was a little bit right-wing in my teenage years, like early teens. Like, when I was a minor teen. I actually did change in my beliefs back when I actually turned 18, and even 19. But, you know, see Roe v. Wade as a personal issue. Fetuses, especially when they're most of the abortions that were committed in America, most abortions that take place in America, they're at the first trimester when they're just, oh, I just discovered it. Most women don't wait that long. Not saying they don't. And most of the abortions after first trimester are usually the emergency cases. Rape, incest, life to the threat. Women also, not every... What do you think happens when, like, say, a miscarriage happens? You think the fetus just disappears? The remains? More personal history, when my ex-girlfriend miscarried, it was not pleasant. They had to remove remains, And if you can't, that's called an abortion. You get rid of the dead tissue. Women are going to die if they can't get those abortions. When the fetus is already dead, as in no hope for survival. What if giving birth would kill her? Like, I remember there was this Law and Order SVU episode where this girl got kidnapped or something, and she was pregnant, and the doctor says she cannot give birth, through the birth canal. They have to do a C-section, or she will bleed out and die. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened. She gave birth, there, and she bled out and died. Many women have died in childbirth. And now Supreme Court, you and your stupid right-wing religion have just ensured that many women are going to die. It is civil. Okay, there are a lot of things that we can have states' rights for. How you run the government, how you run the elections, how you run the DMV department. States' rights should apply to how the laws about how the government is run, the state governments. It shouldn't say, oh, we get to take away people's civil rights. Civil rights should be off the table. I'm sorry for the squeaky chair. Abortion is one of those rights. And wait, ladies, I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying, if you want to reach out to men, point out how this affects them as well. We get it. And I now want to be absolutely clear to any women who are watching this. We get it. It's mostly about you, as in you carry the blah blah blah. What I'm saying is, there are some people, some men out there, who they don't care if all they hear about is how it affects somebody else. Tell them how it affects men. Because yes, women bear 100% of the physical consequences of abortions and pregnancies. Blah blah blah. Right. But here's the thing. Also make it about them. Like, hey guys, remember, this affects you too, which is why you should be pro-choice. Because that child that your girlfriend's forced to carry is part of you, you gotta be part of that. And what happens when you're not ready? I know if I had a kid right now, it would financially ruin me. And it would, some people just aren't mentally prepared. Some people aren't fit for parents. I know I wouldn't be a good parent. I'm not saying I'd be a shitty parent, I'm just saying I'd be horrible at it. Like, I would suck. Out of failure, not, being a shitty deadbeat dad. I'd just be a failure. Some people don't want kids. Some people, they're not ready. Like, some people might, like my parents, when they got married in 82. They waited 10 years. And before having me and my sister, because they didn't want to, because they wanted to make sure, 10 years, if we're not getting a divorce already, then, because my mom and dad fought. They never got violent, but they said, back in the 80s, my parents said things to each other that they never said after they had us. There were names. Like, what if they don't want to have a kid? They don't want to have a kid yet. What if they're, like my friend, here's another one. My friend, she just had a baby, but before then, she had to have an abortion because she just wasn't ready. And it's with the same guy, by the way. They had an abortion, but now they just had their first daughter. And oh my gosh, she's so adorable. I'm happy for you. But yeah, well, rape, incest, also health. What if it's just like, But more importantly, the government should not be telling people what to do. These conservatives, I mean, not to mention that the Bible is full of abortion, of ripping fetuses out of wombs, of killing firstborns, the bitter water verse from Numbers. The Bible is full of abortions. Then it's just an outrage and abortion is gone. Another one. They basically said that the schools have to, taxpayer dollars has to fund Christian and religious schools because of Maine, because of rural ass Maine. This is a breach in the separation of church and state. This is government funding going to religious schooling. That's basically an endorsement of religion. The reason we have secularism is so the government, conservatives think that freedom of religion doesn't include freedom from religion. I want my government as secular as possible. Look, I'm okay with, hey, here's some compromise. I'm okay with, in God, which is, I don't understand why people get mad about it. Look, it's just a saying. It doesn't actually mean that we're a theocracy. It's just a slogan. There are a lot of secular countries that have God mentioned in their like slogans and mottos and crap. Sure, we didn't start with that, That was in 56, Eisenhower's like reacting to the state atheism of the Soviet Union. But I don't want this. And also now they brought back school prayer. Not mandatory like they used to, but it says they can lead in school prayer. Like, oh, okay, then bring out the imams. Bring out the Muslim teacher going, okay, let's pray to Allah. Or, I don't know, maybe the gods of Buddha. Let's all pray to Buddha. If you're Hindu, I've heard of Shiva. From, yes, the Indiana Jones movie. You've betrayed Shiva. Pray to that god. Bring out a Shinto prayer. Go pray to ancestors. I know there's some ancestor worship in the Shinto religion, at least in the Imperial Japanese era. I've watched a lot of World War II movies. What about Satanists? Oh, bring out the people who secretly say... I actually don't think Satanists actually exist. If we're going by the Judeo-Christian version, that Satan is lesser powerful than God, and even Michael, so why would you want to worship someone who's third? It's only the third most powerful anyway. This is what happens when you do a video on when you're baked. And they struck down a New York law that said that basically said you had to give a specific reason as to why you needed a concealed carry permit. So now that puts more guns in the streets, and that's going to lead to more shootings. Because now all you got to do is get a permit, but you don't got to give a specific reason why. It's like before they end their term, there's like a period of judicial time. It's like, okay, we're going to get one little, two little, three little conservative right-wing hand jobs, dreams. I don't know. Wet dreams. One little, two little, three little wet dreams for the conservatives. I just don't recognize my country anymore. I don't. I don't see freedom anymore. I see control. I see religious theocratic oppression. I see, along with the corporate rule. I don't recognize my country anymore. And I don't have the money to move. Because I can't get a job that pays good. The good jobs that will pay won't hire me. Or this country, and here's the thing: the average time span of an empire before it declines and falls is 250 years. We're 247 years old if you go by 1776. We're in imperial decline. There's going to be violence in the streets. There will be a civil war, I predict. I'm not threatening a civil war, I'm just saying, and if I might quote Mel Gibson from The Patriot, this war will not be fought on the frontier or on some distant battlefield, but amongst us. Our children will learn of it with their own eyes, and many will die because of it. Many women are going to die because of this abortion thing. And when the Civil War happens, and it's not going to be like a declaration, it's not going to be like a civil war, like, firing on Fort Sumter, and then Confederate Congress actually declared war on the United States, like officially. It's not going to be with armies. It's going to be with shootings, bombings. And I know we get shootings every day, but I'm talking like targeted political shootings, like not just of migrants, but of someone going and shooting people because they thought it was just a bunch of liberals. And then, eventually a left-winger, they claim we're anti-gun, we're just for gun control, but we do have guns. Or we'll do another shooting, and then another shooting, and then there's a bombing, and then there's a hostage situation that turns into a massacre of left-wingers, and, the NRA gets bombed, it's just... I want to be absolutely clear, I'm not saying this... You get the idea, I'm just being cynical, predicting. We're all going to hell. Left-wing terrorists are going to form for the first time since the 80s, and right-wing terrorists who have been around since the 80s are going to get stronger. The right outguns us, by the way. Obviously, the left, the more pro-gun control, is going to have less guns than right-wing fanatics that literally fuck their guns before going to sleep. People who care more about their guns than their children. Happy Father's Day to people who love their children more than their guns, by the way. I know my girlfriend's father, and I think my dad, because my dad never really had... He had a firearm when he was like a security guard once, but he eventually got rid of that once he had kids. He's not a gun fanatic. As far as I know, he hasn't fired a gun in years. I think I fired a gun at a gun range with some friends, which I will never do again. But we're in a period of decline. America will fall. I mean, I've even seen people calling for constitutional conventions. I'm envious of my grandfather who got to grow old and die within a nation that was somewhat intact. Sure, we had a lot of racist people being bitchy towards Obama because he was black. And Fox News and there, but basically the country was functioning. We didn't have a coup in 2012. When 2012 and Obama won, there was no coup. There was no violence. The worst that happened was Romney said, "Oh, Obama won because black people want free stuff." Like a fucking idiot. To be honest, that is literally the second worst reaction to any loss in a U.S. election. Just saying some bitchy shit. Actually, no, third, because Hillary Clinton's whining, blaming, blaming everyone. But yeah, he died with America relatively intact. Sure, falling, but I just don't think I think I'm going to outlive the United States. I predict within my lifetime, maybe when I'm young, maybe when I'm still young, maybe when I'm old, maybe when I'm middle-aged, maybe right before I die. but I live past it. Probably going to see United States of America no longer existing. Crumble. And I might become a casualty of it, as in I might die with the United States. But, just saying, this country's going to hell. This world is going to hell. Are we at the end times? I don't know. I'm too stoned to know right now. I just want my country back. Our rights back. I want religion to be completely separate from government. Government completely separate from religion. Tax the churches, though. Even Hunter Avalon, he's like center right. You know, he's abandoned the MAGA movement, but he's like center right centrist. Even he's for taxing churches. I would love for my church to be taxed. Why did we give that special treatment? That's special. Okay, giving churches tax exemption is basically violating the shall not establish laws in respect of religion or whatever it says. I don't have it here. Oh, it's over there. My copy of the Constitution. And I don't feel like getting up. It's a violation. Taxes, churches should be taxed. You know, if you're gonna have laws that help you, if you're gonna get government funding, you should pay taxes. Churches should pay taxes if they're gonna receive government funds. That's all I'm saying. I want to say this to any conservative maybe watching this. I'm not against your religion. I'm a Christian too. I go to church whenever my job allows me to go. I do believe in God. I am a Christian man, Catholic, but I'm not a conservative. I'm not a theocrat. I don't want laws based on religion. I want separation of church and state to be absolute. If my Facebook beliefs, if my religious beliefs and political beliefs were actual people, they would not allow to be friends on Facebook. Not allowed to talk to each other. Nope. I've even stopped being so supportive of Israel because I'm like, no, you're only supporting Israel because of your Christian faith. Your Christian faith should be separate from that. We also need to quit supporting Israel simply because, just like without condition, like as in like no condition, you can bomb anyone you want, you can slaughter you can steal land from anyone you want. Because we'd be hypocrites to say, oh, you can't steal other people's lands because we are literally on stolen land. I don't hate America. I don't. Biden is weak. He won't expand the court. He won't do anything. And so anyone who says Trump is better, Trump is not better. Trump made the situation worse. But Biden literally just does nothing. Like, Biden and them are the true conservatives. Okay, the Republican Party is the reactionary party. Biden and the Democrats are the true conservatives because they don't change anything. And while us progressives, we're just this tiny minority, or at least unpowerful. Okay, the majority with no power. That trying to pull this country back to the left. We don't have a left-wing party. We have a far-right party in the Republicans, and we got a conservative centrist party with the Democrats. True liberals, progressives, socialists, you are without a party. Sure, we have representatives in the Democratic Party, but how long? But do you really think we're going to take power anytime soon through that way? need to get money out of politics so that we can maybe get multi-party system. Get money out of politics. Just focus on that. That's what Democrats should, or the progressives in the I mean, they all should, but what the progressives need to do, they need to focus on getting money out of politics first, because every single thing we try to pass is blocked by corruption, money in politics. All Medicare for all, guns, abortion, blah 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 blah, all of it. I'm not going to give up on America, though. I'm not going to give up. Now, if we do need to form a new country, if, on Wikipedia, when you see United States of America, it is 1776 to 2024, so be it. And then it fall by the Union of American States. I don't know. Because, under different... Maybe we should go parliamentary system. I don't know. Maybe. It would be interesting to have a president with limited powers, but then you have this prime minister or something. I'm just saying. Our shit doesn't seem to work. Either that or just the weed. But I want this country to do good. I want this country to be better. To any conservatives who watch who hear us criticize, here's the thing. You people had a guy run on Make America Great Again. Meaning, you were saying it's no longer great. That's great. And Trump is all the time going, country's going to hell, country's going to hell. I mean, he's right, but that doesn't, you weren't any better. You literally fucked up a COVID into a recession. I'm just saying. We need to get money out of politics. We need multiple parties. We can't just run on two. The rule of two should not apply to politics. Or at least political parties. And I think we should also make the vice presidency, you have to run for the vice presidency. It's not, guy wins the presidential nomination and picks the running mate. It's, like how Charlie Bailey wasn't picked by Stacey Abrams to be her running mate. He won the nomination. But yeah, if Elizabeth Warren had run for vice president and won the nomination, and they won, at least we'd have Elizabeth Warren there. This country needs serious help. And how some people say that the UN, like saying the UN's going to invade the US, that might be necessary. Although, because we do have nuclear weapons, that will never happen. So yeah, pre-nuclear weapons, even though the UN was invented when we had nuclear weapons, pre-nuclear weapons, that would have been a feasible thing. Nuclear weapons... I don't know what to do. But don't give up, folks. America can be great again. But we gotta do more than just vote. And you can't just blanketly vote for someone who, just because they have a D after their name. We have to vote for people who will actually stand up. We have to vote for people who will do the right thing and fight. Joe Biden's not that person. We gotta get rid of him. And to be honest, I don't know what's more sad. You want to get rid of Trump because he's a threat to the country, or you can get rid of Biden because he's doing nothing. What's his greatest... What's the good Biden has done? He pulled out Afghanistan, he wrote those checks, which I didn't get anyway. I didn't get one. So... because I was on disability for a while. I'm not now. Where's my check? I haven't been on it since 19. But this country is falling apart. But we gotta do more. We gotta, folks, run for office. I get it. We millennials and Gen Zers, my Gen Z comrades, us millennials, we know what it's like. We have anxiety. You know, oh wait, are Gen Z old enough to run? Well, you might be able to run for state assembly. If you're over 25, you can run for federal office. If you're 25, you can run for the House of Representatives. If you're 30, and I'll be 30 next year. If you're 30, you'll be able to run for the Senate, and if you're 35, you can run for president. Just run, and there might be some places where you can be younger and run for state assembly or something like that. Volunteer. I'm trying with my limited resources, my limited availability. Do what you can. You know, do what you can. Donate. And I hope, and by the way, Georgians, we got a woman here running in our state. I got my problems with Stacey Abrams. I saw a tweet about law enforcement. She said, "It's like, come on, Stacey, don't be that kind of Democrat. Don't be pandering to the right. Don't be saying bullshit like, oh, they're underpaid. No, they're not." But she is a woman, and she's a black woman, by the way. She's gonna stand by abortion rights. Look, you may have your problems with Stacey Abrams. You may have your problems with Charlie Bailey. Okay, I get it. You know. But I know that they will protect abortion rights. And Bee Nguyen, who is our Democrat governor for Secretary of State, she will not do what Brian Kemp did as Secretary of State. She will not purge people from the vote. At least not voter suppression wise. I had the honor of asking her about that, and I'm way too high to remember what she said, but she did give a solid answer about how she would be able to protect voting rights as Secretary of State. We gotta get her in. I don't give a shit about that First Asian Vietnamese woman. I'm sorry, I don't care. I'm not against it. But she is genuine. Stacey Abrams is one of us. She may not be fully on board because all I see in healthcare is like, oh, access, blah, expand access. Like, okay, that's not enough, but okay. We gotta get her in, guys. In Texas, you want your gun, you want your children safe. You go with Beto O'Rourke. Beto O'Rourke, look, I'm not saying he's not a Medicare for all person, but Beto O'Rourke, I've noticed, and Democrats a lot, they're good with guns, at least. Yeah, I get it. There's more regulation on abortion and guns, and that sucks. But you elect people like Beto O'Rourke, after that low performance he did. Look, even if he was only doing it for political reasons, but I don't think he did. I think, and there was the way he was tearing up later outside. He does have school children. You know, and I don't know if he gets protection as a former congressman. I think he was in the House before he ran for Senate against Ted Cruz and unfortunately lost. So I don't know if his kids get protection. I think that was genuine. You know, because they don't take money from the NRA. I mean, yes, some do. Obviously, Manchin does, but most Democrats don't take money from the NRA. And when you're free from that financial conflict of interest, then yeah, they'll go after it. I mean, you think if there was an industry that protected gay marriage, Republicans would be all on that shit. They'd be like, we must protect gay marriage. It's because I take money from the gay unions. I guess the gay liberty, I don't know. The gay rights unions, I don't know. I think it's ACLU. Because I take money from the ACLU. You know, because people take money from the NRA because it's the gun manufacturers make profit from selling the guns. You know, the private healthcare industry pay off politicians because they profit from healthcare being deregulated. You know? But Democrats don't take that. They don't take that money from the gun manufacturer as much. I know I'm rambling, but I think that action was genuine. Maybe sure, maybe it would be like, oh, this would be good for publicity, but I do think he meant what he said. I don't like Democrats nationally, but statewide they tend to be good. And John Fetterman, Charles Booker, you know, we got Charles Booker and John Fetterman, and look, who knows what could happen with Kentucky, Rand Paul. He's been there for a while, and Rand Paul. That's sort of like a household name. Like he's real famous. Most people haven't heard of Charles Booker, although more people have heard of John Fetterman because he was the lieutenant. He is, as of right now, as I'm speaking on June 28th, he's still the lieutenant governor. So obviously he's well known, and he's also going up against Dr. Oz. This is the Senate Pennsylvania is a celebrity election. I'm not okay. So John Fetterman isn't a celebrity like TV stuff, but he's a political celebrity. Like he's the new Bernie. John Fetterman is the new Bernie Sanders. We have to get him into the Senate. Yes. I'm going to tweet that. Okay. I'm going to get off here. Alright, stay awesome, stay progressive, and may the force be with you. And please stand up for women. Women, the gays. By the way, they're coming for your, they're going to come for your gay rights next. Clarence Thomas himself said that. I mean, they overturned Roe v. Wade, and that's been here for decades. You think they're gonna respect a decision made 7 years ago? Especially when the right loves to harp on the gays. So be prepared, gay people. They're coming for your rights. Wonder if they'll try to declare the Catholic Church, because Catholic Church has gone a little bit left wing since Pope Francis took the throne. Anyway, I'm gonna actually end this. Stay awesome, stay progressive, and may the force be with you. Have hope. Continue fighting on. Save abortion rights.